I got him. Well, there you go. 3 rocks, 3 yabbies. Gonna have a go at it. Got him. Oh. Look at the size of that thing.
That is yellow belly, is it?
Look at the size of him. Today we've come out to an absolutely beautiful spot. Check this out. And hopefully this shows up on camera as good as what it is. We've got a whole heap of bedrock along here and some really big flat rocks overhanging. Come down here, I can see there's a heap of little caves and stuff down in here, and it's probably a couple of foot deep here, and the creek runs all the way along there for I can get to a couple of kilometers at least. So what we'll do, we'll get a line in the water and then we'll just go for a bit of a forage and flip some rocks and see what we can find. I'm going to sneak out here as slowly as possible. Try not to stir up the water too much. And what I'm going to do first, you can see it there, it's an overhanging ledge and it looks like it's all hollow up underneath. And I reckon the big ones, that's where they're going to be hiding in amongst all this stuff. So I'm going to set a line here first. And this water is actually bloody cold considering it's the middle of summer. And I reckon I just seen one there actually. I just seen a little yabby flick underneath that rock then. So what I'll do is I'll try and get it as close to that ledge as possible. Yeah, that's perfect. And one thing I'm going to be wanting to watch out for up here is them bloody tiger leeches. I know they are up in here. It is running a little bit, so that's a good sign. Well, that line there's gone already. So I'll come up here as stealthily as possible and come up behind the overhang so as they can't see me coming, and hopefully they haven't got it wedged down in there, which they do. Well, that's a bit of a bugger. Oh, whatever had it's just let it go again. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit the meat there and I'll come back and see if I can spot him coming out to it. Oh, there's a little baby fella. Oh yeah, I can see him coming out. I don't know how well that's going to show on camera. He's coming out and wanting to have a look at it. It's only a little one. There he goes, he's got it. Oh, and there's a big one just crawled out. And the big one's taking the meat. We'll see if we can get him up. You beauty. Look at him. There's one in the bag straight up. And he's not letting go of it either. That's a good sign. See if we can get him off the bait. Hopefully there's some bigger ones in here, but we're going to keep him straight up. Oh dear. Well, I don't think there's any worries about catching them. Well, that didn't take too long at all. And there's 3 or 4 having to go at that line straight up. The only thing about these little mountain yabbies is they don't tend to get very big. That's not a bad size one, but what they make up for in not being big is they're beautiful and clean, absolutely best eating. You can just see the environment they're living in. So this looks like a nice little yabby spot to have a bit of flip a few rocks over and just have a look. There's much hiding underneath. There certainly is. Looks like a dead one. There's a little dead fella under there. Not sure what happened to him. What we'll do, we'll keep working through these rocks and just have a look. Oh, there goes one. Only a little tiny one. Oh yeah, nice one hiding under here. They see you coming fairly well. We'll keep working into him. Trouble is, they got a lot of places to go here. Try not to stir it up too much. Oh yes, look at that. There was a couple under that one. Trouble is they got a lot of places to go. I just seen one go under this rock. He's going to keep working his way down. Got him. I've sort of got him anyway. I think he's going to get me. There we go. Nice little fella. So that's how you rock flip. We might let this little fella go and we'll keep having a look, see if we can find something a bit bigger. Ready? We'll let him go in here. You watch how quick it disappears. It's gone already. I didn't even see where that fella went. We'll keep foraging through this rock pile, I reckon. I reckon there's going to be a bigger one hiding down a bit deeper. And I will put these rocks back the way they were when I'm finished. Oh, just scared everything off then. Oh, yes. Don't know if you can see him there right at my finger, and I got him. There we go. Another, he's actually not too bad, that one. We probably could nearly keep him. No, we'll let him go. We'll let him go up here where we can see him get away. Oh, there he goes. He's nice clean little yabby, that fella. We'll keep having a forage around in here because I reckon there's probably going to be a bigger one the deeper you go down. Oh yes, nice one. I'll try and come up from behind him and pin him. He's just gone under this rock. I'll go very slowly so I don't stir up the silt too much. There he goes. I'm going to have to get a refooting. Not too sure how well you're going to be able to make him out there. He's right on the edge of the rock where my finger is. I'll tell you what, that must be a bit deeper there than what I think. I dove down into there and thinking that I was on top of him, and I didn't even touch him. He's going down in amongst the leaf litter now. Once he gets in amongst that leaf litter, he's gone. I can't see a thing down in there. So there are reasonable sized yabbies in here. He was actually a fairly good yabby, twice the size of that one I just caught. He kept going down under the rocks and he got into that leaf litter. And once they get into that leaf litter, they're very hard to see. So we'll let them ones be. Don't want to disturb them too much. And as you can see, I've put these rocks back the way they were. So they've got plenty of big flat rocks there to hide under. So we'll check this line again. There's definitely something on it again. They're getting it and dragging it under that rock. I'll just sneak out here very, very slowly. And we'll only get a few out of this hole. There's one sitting right there. He's checking the meat out. This one here is, again, he's not huge. And I'll try and sit it on top of this fella over here. I can see one there. He was checking the meat out. He just wasn't game enough to come out and grab it. I can see a bigger one down in this crack here. I'll try and get the meat right down on top of him, which, yes, it's going to go straight down nearly on top of him. And I think it's actually scared him. They're coming out of that crack everywhere. There's one there, one up there, another little fella there. I'll see if I can scoop this one, just with the scoop. Oh, I got him. Didn't even need the line for that one. There's two in the scoop now. Oh well, that's easy going if I can keep doing that all day. They're not very big, but I'll definitely get a feed of them. and definitely get some bait. I actually got 3 in that scoop. There's a little baby one there. I didn't even see him go in. We'll let him go. What the heck is that? I'm pretty sure that's a big yabby hiding underneath a little tiny bit of leaf litter. Got him! You beauty! Now that yabby there was hiding underneath that. He had that on top of him. You couldn't even really tell. The only reason I could tell that was a yabby, and he's a good size one too. Beautiful. That's what I'm after. He wasn't even under a rock. He had a little leaf sitting up on his back. And you couldn't even tell it was a yabby really, except the only thing I seen was his tail was hanging out. And I thought, that looks a bit odd. He's definitely a keeper, that one. I'm gonna put him in the bag. And I just spotted something that I didn't want to see. I'm gonna give you a look. They're horrible bloody things. We'll see if we can get in close to him. You see that little bug right there? That's what they call a water scorpion. And they do bite. Right there. Horrible little things. So what we're going to do along the way, I've come to this really shallow part. We're going to flip a few of these smaller rocks over and just see if there's much action down in this really shallow running water. And what I'm looking for is really flat rocks like this. Just flip him up slowly. Oh, yeah, there was. Look at that. See him out there? We'll follow him. See if we can't get him. He's going up into the shallower and shallower water. Got him. There we go. First rock. So they're in here, and we'll let him go. He's only a little fella. There he goes. He'll go back to his rock. Well, that's a good sign. Where was that rock now? Was that rock right there? And what I'm going to do, just out of interest, that was the rock there we just got that little yabby out of. Let's just go right beside it and see what happened. Yep. Another one sitting right beside him. Just about every rock. There we go, 2. We'll go this rock here. So we've got 1, 2. And I'll flip it back this way so we can see with the camera. If there is anything. Yep, another one. Only a little fella. Where'd he go? He's just disappeared on me. Oh, there he is. He's hiding under that leaf there. Look at that. Got him. So 3 in 3 rocks. Unbelievable. Must be just loaded in here, I'd say. We'll let that little tacker go. We'll put him back under his rock, actually. See his rock back there. Well, there you go. 3 rocks, 3 yabbies. I could walk along there all day catching them little yabbies, which I may do. I don't know whether I'm going to film it all, but I need some bait, so I probably should have just thrown them ones in the bucket, but I was only doing it just to give you guys a look. And we'll keep moving. I get sidetracked sometimes. So I've been walking down this stream here, flipping rocks. It's really shallow, and there's just about every rock has a little yabby under it. And I've come down, it's come into this deep pool. There's a whole heap of flood rubbish banked up in here. It's not overly deep, but it's a dark looking hole where I reckon there's going to be a big one hiding. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a line out here and we'll just give it 5 minutes and see how we go. I'm going to come around into this side in the shadows here. And I can't... Oh my goodness me. About to say I couldn't see any in there. And the whole bottom came alive. I must have spooked them. And what I'll do, I can see what's going to happen. I can see they're going to drag me up under a stick or something. I'll sit the meat down there and I'll keep a really close eye on it. I pulled that line up there, I checked it, and there was about 10 little fellas about that big hanging off it. And as soon as I got near them, they spooked. So I'm thinking it's way too snaggy. The big fella's going to be way up in the snags and I'll never get him out of there. And it's getting bloody hot in this sun, so I'm going to try and go and find somewhere in the shade to hang out. This is an absolutely perfect looking spot for some big fellas to be hanging about in here. I reckon what I might do is I'll set a couple of lines in this hole. I'll put one here and I'll walk down there a bit further and put another one. So I'm going to set a couple of lines here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to set it reasonably short so they can't drag it right up underneath there. I'll just give you a look. I've just got it tied onto this overhanging branch here, and it gets deep out there. There's heaps of overhanging branches and leaf litter and rocks. Perfect spot. And I'll just leave that there to soak for a while. We'll come back and check it later. And I think this little spot here is going to be way too good to walk past without setting a line in. I'll give you a bit of a look at it. Fairly shallow up there, probably a foot, 2 foot, and comes down, and it's probably 3 or 4 foot deep there. Got heaps of overhanging rocks, heaps of crevices and caves. Heaps of crevices and caves all down through here. And keep going up. Have a go at this. There's just boulders all through the water. Heaps of little caves and crevices. I just spotted an absolute monster in there. Beautiful blue yabby too. I wasn't game enough to grab him by hand. I went to have a go and he's in fairly deep water. And he's obviously seen me coming and flipped well before I could grab him, but I'd left my net over here. What I'm thinking I might do is just go and do some snipering under some rocks and try and get some bait. There is something here that I want to show you though. What I want to show you, you're probably not going to be able to see it terribly well there. I'll pick it up ever so gently. It's actually just a skeleton of a yabby. You can see where it's broken in half there. And that's where they shed their shell when they get bigger. I've just been walking down the creek, just plotting along, having a look, and I found an absolute perfect example of what I was talking about the rocks being dug out. Now I'll give you a look. This rock here, as you can see all this sand, it's been kicked out from underneath the rock. It's sort of in a little pile. Probably going to be a bit hard to make out. I'll come around this way so you can see a bit better. What I might do, oh, I can see him already. He's come out. There he is there, look. As soon as I move that rock. And he's a decent sized yabby. And I can see there's another little one, so I'll put you on the head mount and we'll see if we can get him. Now I just don't know what way to go about it, whether I might put the net here. That stick's going to be get right in my way. And hopefully he might flip into that net. We'll go this way, and now that sun's gone, it's not very favourable. Here he comes out the backside. Here he comes out the backside, and I've missed him. He's gone straight into that log. As soon as I start making ripples on the water, I can't see a bloody thing in there. I'll tell you what I need is a set of goggles. Oh, look at this. 2 big fellas. Oh, just missed him again. There must have been 2 big fellas hiding under this log. Well, all I've managed to do is go and stuff that up. There was 2 good ones there and I've missed them both. But you can see what I'm talking about with the sand being kicked out from underneath them rocks. Generally a good sign there's going to be a big one under there. I'll give that a couple of minutes to settle and just see whether we can get that fella. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to bail out of here because these clouds have come over really thick and it's actually started spitting rain. And I won't get back out of here if it starts raining too much. There's a fair bit of really cluggy mud that I've got to get through to get here. If it rains anymore, I'll be stuck. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let the bigger ones go that are too big for bait. I'm going to keep the bait ones and we're going to come back with the traps and have a good go. There goes one of the big fellas. Almost ashamed to let him go. And I think we'll let that one go. He's too big for bait. That other big fella's sitting just out there. We'll put him there beside him. And I reckon that one can go back too. He's just too big for a bit of bait, I reckon. That big fella hasn't moved far. He's still sitting there, look. And I ended up with quite a few little bait yabbies. That one there's almost too big, but I think I'll keep him. Well, I've made it back down here with the traps. It's actually the next day. We got a little bit of rain yesterday, but it wasn't too bad. They are predicting more today, but I'm going to take my chances just because it's such an overcast and cool day. I reckon it's going to be the perfect day to be setting these traps down here. And what I've got Josie's shrimp trap here. And I reckon I'm going to put it out in here because I did see a few shrimps. And the shrimps I seen were bloody big, massive ones, and they're good eating too. So we're going to see if we can jag some of them today. In the traps, in the shrimp trap, I've just got a lamb rib. In the yabby traps, I've got dog food in the bait holders and a lamb rib. Because what I want to do is try and make it irresistible for them to entice them out. So we'll get these traps in. So this shrimp trap, what I reckon, oh, and that water is bloody cool today. I'm going to try and jam this shrimp trap right up underneath this root ball here, because I reckon that's where the shrimps will be hiding out. So there's the shrimp trap jam right up underneath that root ball. So I've made it down to where we're going to put the first pyramid trap, and I've come down to where we had the line yesterday. I'll give you a bit of a look. Right there is where I had the line dangling. There was a big one, well, there'd still be there. There's a big one hiding under that rock. But what I reckon is we'll come down here a little bit. It's probably a little bit shallower, but I reckon it looks like a better spot for a trap. I'll grab the trap and I'll walk out here slowly. There's a big flat rock here where the trap's going to sit nice and flat on the bottom. And what I'll do is I'll jam the corners of the trap as far in there as possible. That's as far as it's going to go. So I reckon anything that's hiding under all these rocks here, there's big flat rocks all through here, there's got to be a heap. And I know I did flip one of these rocks yesterday. You might have been that one up there. And there was a heap under there. No, it was that rock there actually. So I reckon that's going to be the perfect spot. And this second pyramid trap, I'm going to sit down in this deep hole here. And the same thing, I'm going to sort of try and jam it up under the logs here. Ooh, that's getting deep. And put it right on the ground. So I've got this pyramid trap number 3 sitting out there in amongst all them boulders and that, but I've found a flat spot where it can sit reasonably flat. So that's trap number 4. So we're back. It is actually about 4:30 now. I've got my offsider with me.
Hi guys.
Josie the trap puller. They've been in for a good 8 hours. I'm just having a look at this shrimp trap here and it doesn't look real successful. I can't see any in it.
I see something.
But we'll send Josie out and she can pull it in. Go, Jose. Rightio, Jose can pull this first one in. The shrimp trap. See if we've got any shrimps. Oh, we haven't got any shrimps, but we've got a heap of little yabbies in there. Let's have a look. There's a heap of little fellas in this shrimp trap. What I'll do is I'll throw a bit of water in one of these buckets. I've actually bought 2 buckets. I bought one for the big yabbies and one for the small yabbies. Let's have a look in this trap what we're actually got. Yeah, it looks like about 10 or so.
There is some big ones in there.
Yeah. There is actually a bigger one in there. I might separate him. So we end up about 10. And there is one that's a bit bigger. He's an eating size, that one. And there's about 10 little ones in there. Well, I'm going to have to apologise. I've only just realised after we finished pulling all those traps, I had it on time warp, so it's unusable. I'll give you a look at the end result though. We done all right. So there's the last trap that we just pulled. And I just checked the footage and it's all just gibberish. It's in about 10 speed or something. I don't know what I done. I sat the GoPro in my pocket and so you missed pulling all the traps. But we will do it again. So we end up getting a heap of little bait size yabbies in there. And what do we get? 4 or 5 little eating size. And that's going to do us for today. We might go and cook those eating ones up and just have a bit of a taste test. Well, she's a bit of a sad looking cook up. We've only got a few here to cook. I probably should have kept most of them bigger ones that I was actually throwing back. But anyway, we'll come back out here for sure, I think, and do another video. What I want to try and do is come back out here at night. But we'll give you a look at what we've got going on. There's the extent of what we got to cook. 5 little tails. You almost caught one. You want to have a taste of one of these yabby tails? So this is the extent of our big cook up today. So it's not my best cook up. We're not going to get full. I think on the way home we're going to have to pull into the pizza shop and get a pizza for tea, I think. Oh, check that out. So you can have one of them big ones. Just be careful because that frying pan will be hot.
I'm scared.
And I actually don't mind these little ones.
I'm scared.
Well, they definitely don't get any fresher. And I'll tell you what, they taste all right.
What's that?
No, it's only off the pan. They've almost got a sweet taste to them. Well, you reckon they're all right? Yeah, I'll tell you what, they're bloody delicious, those little mountain yabbies. I think we're going to have to come back. We'll definitely come back here by the end of summer and we'll do another video.
I ate them all.
And we'll just spend the day foraging, I reckon, just flipping rocks, because I actually done better just going along flipping rocks. The only thing is it's hard to film because of the glare on the water and everything else. It's hard for you guys to see. So don't forget, hit the subscribe button. We'll catch you on the next one.
How do you...
Look at Josie trying to get into one of these nippers. She's going to squash it flat. She's hitting it with the rock.